What's going on YouTube? It's Big Larry with 5 Out Productions, man. Hope y'all having a good day today. Starting my new series, I'm gonna be talking about the basketball games that happen. So after I watch a game that goes on, I'm gonna do a quick reaction video. So that's my new series with this channel. So hope you guys enjoy. So I'm gonna be talking about the Bucks and Warriors game that happened last night on March 18th. So just talk about it a little more. So first quarter, let's look at my notes right quick. So Quentin Post has an amazing start to the first quarter, start to the game. Obviously, he had 5 points in the first 2 minutes, a three-pointer and a dunk. And then Moody kind of went off that momentum. He had a three before the first timeout. Shot a three-pointer, as well as drew a foul for two. So that's already a 12-3 lead right there. On top of that, Pods came out as well, played fantastically. Pods had about 2 threes in a row, back to back, which was amazing for them. Brought the lead up to like 12 points before Bucks can really do anything about it. Kuminga was also strong on the offensive side of the ball. He got a lot of offense. He got a good amount of offensive rebounds. He was more aggressive in the paint as far as the offensive rebounds go. He was able to capitalize off those, even with a putback dunk as well. Jimmy Butler also brought some strong attention too. I wanted to talk about him a little bit. So yeah, Jimmy Butler, even with Curry not playing yesterday, Jimmy Butler had a lot of attention towards him, and he was able to get those assists and kick it out to one of those guys on the perimeter, such as Pods or Buddy Hield, Moses Moody, and they were all able to capitalize on the 3-point opportunities that Jimmy Butler provided for them. Also want to shout out Quentin Post. Him having that shooting ability, he's able to draw Brook Lopez away from the paint. That allows Jimmy Butler to get those driving lanes that he always wanted. So he has a lot of driving lane opportunity, especially with Steph being there on the team now. Quentin Post having that ability, it's going to be a nightmare for a lot of teams dealing with those two guys with the 5-man outside the paint. There's going to be a lot of switching going on. It's going to cause mismatches. And Jimmy Butler is amazing in the post when it comes to scoring on smaller guards in the post. So the Warriors won the first quarter by a mile, in my opinion. They had an amazing performance from their role players, like I mentioned before, with Pods, with Moody, and with Quentin Post as well. And Jimmy Butler did Jimmy Butler things as well. So that was a great performance in the first quarter. And for the second, and just talk about the Bucks a little bit. Started off slow in the first quarter. They weren't matching the energy of the Warriors at all. They shot, I believe, 2 for 10. That's how they started off the game, 2 for 10, which is put them in a hole coming into the rest of the game. They committed a lot of fouls in the first quarter. They fouled a lot of those players. Jimmy Butler was able to draw a good amount of fouls, as well as Pods and things of that nature, or role players. So they kind of capitalized on the free throw attempts as well. The Bucks got to get better in not fouling in the paint. Second quarter, Draymond had multiple defensive plays. Blocking Giannis, things you block Giannis shot, things of that nature. Now he was having a great performance in the post. That's why he kind of mentioned how he wanted to get that DPOY award after that game because of how amazing he was, especially in the first half. He was doing amazing. Quentin Post, now, as I mentioned before, pulling Brook Lopez away from the baskets, allowing Jimmy Butler to kind of drive. And he also shot pretty nicely from three with 2 minutes remaining in the game. Buddy and Pods capitalizing on open shots as well. Like I mentioned before, with Jimmy Butler kicking to the perimeter, Pods and Buddy were always there all game long and just shoot from the perimeter and make those shots count. The Bucks had a terrible second quarter as well. They had a lot of turnovers going on, and they're also fouling again. So, yeah, they need to work on the fouling so they're not getting people to the line so easily. I also want to say 35% from the field. That's why the Bucks shot in the second quarter as well. They're hanging on to a thread with Kuzma and Dame hitting some 3-point shots, which was able to kind of keep the lead the same as it was in first quarter and let them get blown out. Lopez had about 5 points in a row in second quarter as well to lower the score difference. And then at the end of the half, with about 2 minutes remaining, I want to say, or it was like the last possession. Dame was guarded by Gary Payton. He had the opportunity off the screen to kind of hit a logo three, like as he's known for, but he ended up not taking it, passing it to Brook Lopez with 2 seconds left, who made it just put it up in the air, basically from behind 3 point range, which was a terrible shot. You can see Doc Rivers in the stands, bowing his head over because how embarrassed he was to see that happen. So I don't know why Dame did that, but going to the second half, Kuzma had a great performance, like I mentioned before, how their Bucks were living off of Kuzma's 3 point attempts as well as Damian Lillard. So Kuzma and Dame, had a great second half. Giannis also was still getting a little easy buckets, but wasn't enough. They actually took in the second half. They actually took the lead at one moment in the game, about 5 minutes. I want to say actually for a good stretch in the second half, they had the lead in the game because they were capitalizing. Dame and Kuzma capitalizing on 3 point opportunities as well as Giannis getting those easy buckets. But Jimmy Butler had to change him on. He changed the entire momentum, I believe, when he made a 4 point play. He shot a three, got fouled at the line, made a 4 point play. And from there, we saw Buddy Hield making a lot of shots as well. He started capitalizing off his 3 point attempts in the second half. And to top that off, we got pause in the last 2 minutes of the game, had two back-to-back 3 pointers that were were vital to winning that game. Kept the lead. He kept the Warriors lead high, so the Bucks didn't touch it. And by the last, possessions of the game, there was no point in even trying because the lead was so much. So Pods making that contribution with Curry not being there is very important for this team, especially with Buddy Hield hitting his shots. I know he kind of went up and down this season. Started the season was doing great from three, declined a little bit. This game, him able to pick it up, especially with Curry's absence, that shows a lot to me. So, Jimmy Butler had 28 points, I believe. Look at the stats right now a little bit, but show you some stats. So we see right here, Giannis didn't shoot the greatest. He has some easy buckets in the game. Don't get me wrong, but 13%, 31%, not his numbers. He needs to do better than that. Last shooting before with Kuzma had 13 3 point attempts. Shot 38% from three. He had an amazing game from three. I know 38% is not the 40, but when you shoot on that high of a clip, that's pretty nice to see. Damian Lillard, I'm actually surprised to see the stat line. Yes, he had a few good threes. I didn't realize he took so many. So yeah, this is not an efficient game for Damian Lillard. Those 3 pointers he did make were pretty vital within the game if you were watching. But shooting 33% and 22%, especially with Giannis shooting 31%, they weren't winning that game at all. So they need to do better on their efficiency, take better shots, and get easier baskets. Even though I saw Giannis get a lot of easy baskets, there was a good defensive touch on him, especially with Draymond playing on the floor. Him shooting that lower percentage, it's not going to cut it. I want to shout out also to Gary Trent Jr. He shot pretty solid, to be honest, in my opinion, especially for his level of play. Then when he got 25 minutes, he's not shooting the best at all, of course. But compared to his other colleagues that are star players, he shot pretty decently compared to them. So I want to shout him out a little bit as well. Now we move on to the Warriors. Jimmy Butler shot 46% from the field. So a lot of those driving lane opportunities, he took advantage of that. He probably could have got a little bit more, but he still was able to capitalize and drop a 24-point game. Draymond Green had a great defensive stretch. The stats don't really show defensive stats too often, but 4 blocks is super impressive in an NBA game. Him able to hit 4 of them, 2 steals, he had a great defensive game. And then, like I mentioned before, he had some blocks on Giannis. That kind of leads up to that Giannis shooting 31% from three, and 31% from the field, not even in the three. I also want to shout out Brandon Pods. Like I showed here, he shot 57% from three. He was hitting 3 pointers like all day long, man. It was great to see that performance from him, especially with Curry not being there. 17 points on 16 and 57 is very super efficient. He had a great game, especially for the 3 point line. So very happy to see that. Shouting him out. Moody, yeah, he only had that. Well, I'm not mentioning he shot a shot or two that came in clutch that first quarter. That's kind of all he did. As the second half, I kind of didn't talk about him too much. He didn't play as much. But yeah, just looking at the all shots overall, I guess he wasn't that efficient overall from my eye test. So surprised to see that a little bit. But yeah, he needs to get better. He just shoot better. Because if these Brandon Pods didn't have an amazing, 60, 57 game, Moses Moody having a 40% game probably could have maintained that win over the Bucks. But Pods wasn't shooting. He was shooting his regular numbers, and then Moses Moody shot that. They might have lost that game, or the lead would have been way closer. That could have been a Damian Lillard local shot to win the game. So he needs to do better in that category. Quinn Post, amazing, amazing, amazing game. He needs to get more rebounds. 23 minutes in the game. He could get more rebounds. I like to see that more from him, especially when you don't have too much size and you're only really competing with Draymond Green for the defensive rebound. So I like to see a little bit more from him. Yeah, I don't know. Draymond should have more than you because he plays more, but I think Quinn Post, him being that height, should be working on the glass more. Because Draymond Green is, smaller and older, so trying to utilize Quinn Post's age and height more often would be beneficial to the team. But shooting wise, he did fantastic. Like I mentioned before, he brought Brook Lopez out the paint, which opened lanes for Jimmy to drive to the basket or get a mismatch going on. Also shot pretty nice from the field overall. Maybe overall. So yeah, very proud of Quinn Post this game. I'm excited to see what he can do in the playoffs and what he's gonna do when he gets there. I mentioned before, Jonathan Kuminga hit a very, very nice putback dunk, which is one of those rebounds, offensive rebound you see on the stat line right now. He had 2 for 10 shots with Curry not being there. It's not good at all. He needs to pick this up, or he's not gonna get the playing time he wants in the playoffs. For Buddy Hield, he shot amazingly as well, as I mentioned before, capitalizing him and Brandon Pods, capitalizing on 3-point opportunities. He shot 71 and 66% from the field, even better than Pods percentages. So yeah, so he shot amazing. I hope we can see this again, but it might not happen. But I feel like him and Pods really, saved the game, and without Curry being there, they're the reason that they won the game because they're capitalizing on 3-point opportunities. Jimmy Butler was also a nice reason. He brought attention. He brought attention to him, drawing some focus away from the 3-point line from the perimeter, where Brandon and Buddy Hield capitalized on. And then for Draymond Green, had a great defensive plays, 4 blocks. So those guys I'm shouting out for the game. So yeah, move forward with that. Gary Payton also was pretty solid. 17 minutes, has some good defensive plays and 3-pointers made as well. We see 2 for 5, shot 40% from 3-point arc. So he was also capitalizing on 3-point opportunities as well. That's really all I want to talk about for the game. Hope you guys enjoyed my video. I'll be making another one soon when I get a chance to react and watch the whole full game and react to it. Hope you guys enjoyed. I'm out. Peace.